good evening, good night. That was the thunk you heard. It was not my underwear falling on the floor. How are you people? This today we have got somebody I have known for approximately an hour and a half. Now, has to be, no, we're only in our 30s, so it has to only be like 4 years.
Yep, 4 whole years.
4 years. That's it, just 4 years. This fella here is gonna amuse, abuse, and otherwise calculate your brain into a mush pile. We are recording from live from Vancouver, Washington. Not the big Vancouver with the big boats and the film schools and all that stuff, but the cute little Vancouver with the lots of tapatio trucks, because that's how we eat around here. Mr.
Mm.
Jon Enge, how are you, sir?
Hello, I'm good. Thanks for having me on. This is awesome.
Yeah, it is because I've been wanting to get you on forever, and I
I know
finally
we've
got
been
you to
trying.
answer one of your damn emails. So, I stalked you
So
on
busy,
Instagram.
so busy.
I
Actually, so
know.
ADD. That's really,
See, that's this is based. I should just change the name to the Antisocial ADHD Show because pretty much everybody I talk to is like,
yeah. All of
yeah,
my all my creative friends have some sort of neurodivergence.
cool.
So,
Yeah,
yep, yep,
we're special like the Olympics.
exactly. I don't fuck with normal people, so
Yeah, I never fucked normal people either. Normies
they were
scare me.
normal. They probably don't want none of this.
Yeah. I'm allergic to normal. I think that that's an N word that I shouldn't say. It has the same number of letters, doesn't it? And yeah, I think it does. So,
I'm not even going to think that word, so I don't
I
know.
think that's smart of you. All right, my darling. I'm going to give you the social routine that many people get because, I've known you for maybe an hour and a half, but I know of you for many, 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 many years, and I am grateful for every second I have spent with you. The planet Earth has not, and I think that's a shame. And so let's start from little
I
John
agree.
Ningy, little baby John.
There's a wee Ingy.
A wee
Uh,
little boy growing up in the hills of.
Mission Viejo, the
Oh,
mean
yeah, totally.
streets of Orange County, California.
Dude. Were you a surfer kid?
Not, oh, I tried to be a surfer kid for a little while. Like I grew up and like some of my friends were trying to become surfers and get into surfer stuff. And
Uh-huh.
so my dad bought me a surfboard at a garage sale.
That's the best place to get them.
Yeah, he was a math teacher, and we weren't. He was not about to drop the money on a brand new surfboard
$50, that's
for
what I spent on
the
mine.
ADHD kid who, is
Yeah.
really super interested and goes down the hole for like 2 weeks and then
I really want
forgets
to play
about it.
yo-yo. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've got 27 yo-yos. I know everything about it. And as soon as I started doing it, I got bored.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, so like we would go, my buddy Adam, who I grew up with, who
Uh-huh.
turned into like a Spicoli level surfer,
Dude.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like that was his nickname in high school was Spicoli because he turned into this guy.
Did he
And
have the stuff on his nose all the time? The zinc?
I want to say sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who
But
knows where it really was, though?
he he and I would have to go and like get the bus because we're in like junior high
Uh-huh.
and take the bus.
With your
Now,
surfboard.
if you look at Mission Viejo on a map, it doesn't seem that far from the ocean, but like we would have to take it to San Clemente, which was a good hour and a half on a bus.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we would get down there and like put the wax on our boards and go out, and he was good at it, and I could not stand up.
You want to know something funny that I
Yeah.
did? I'm confessing on international jellyvision. The first time I put wax on a board, I put it on the wrong side. I, I did not
Fabulous.
realize the wax was meant to keep your body from falling off the board. I thought it was to keep the water from getting too fast on your board. Because I'm from a land where there's snow.
Yeah, you want to slow it down. You don't
Yeah,
go too fast. You can just chill.
yeah,
You might outrun the wave.
that's right. I don't want get fastest in the water. So
Yeah,
for weeks, people were just looking at me going, "You got seashells stuck on the bottom of your board. What's going on?"
fantastic. Yeah, and we would go down there and I would spend the entire time eating shit and then getting bullied by all of the surfer bros. And I just remember these two very cute girls came up to us one time as we're waiting for the bus to go home.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, "Why don't you guys go back to Mission Viejo?" And they were like, "Ha ha 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 ha. We're just kidding. Where are you from?" And
Oh.
we're like, "Mission Viejo." And they went, "Oh my God," and ran off laughing. So eventually I was like, maybe this is, yeah. One time I caught a wave, I stood up and I was very, very excited about it. And I looked down and there was no water underneath me. Like it was one of those shore break waves.
Oh
And
yeah.
so all of the water had gone out and I just see sand and I'm like, oh no. Wham! And I just like laid there going, maybe I'm not meant to be a surfer. So I
You
was
ever
like
have
a
one of those first
skater.
times when you're on it, and then next thing you know, your neck is underneath the water, and you're rolling in the sand with your neck under the water, going, maybe my head is not supposed to turn this way.
Yeah, yeah. So I ended up being like a skater punk kid.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Still
Yeah.
skateboarding,
Not at all, no.
but you
Somebody
look like you live
stole
in a skateboard house.
it may look like it, but
It's really cool. I'm
no.
I'm digging the decor, the bats and the skeleton and
Thank
the
you.
sword. Is that a
Yeah.
rapier? Is that a Spanish rapier?
This is my old main gauche from when I was a sword fighter at the Renaissance Fair. I
Ah,
do
yes.
have a rapier around here somewhere, but
I miss those days when I was taking out the sword and flipping
yeah,
it
it's
around it.
good times. Good
Oh,
times.
so much fun. Get to wear all the fancy costumes in 105-degree weather.
Yeah. And then we would sit at the Actors Inn and just crack each other up all day long.
Yeah.
Till
And have,
somebody was like, "John, we have to go."
but then you'd
Fine.
have people like Princess Leia walking by with her daughter.
Yeah.
Like, hey, guys, it's the princess. Let's go say hi. There's the cast of Friends. Let's go pretend we're Renaissance people in front of them.
Yeah, I remember when Courtney Cox showed up with David Arquette
Yeah.
and
You
and
gotta
she
go.
was like in full incognito mode with a hat that came down to here and sunglasses and she was really trying to hide and he was in like he looked like he
He had purple
this isn't
pants
what he
on.
was wearing, but in my
Yeah.
mind, he had on pants like Flea in the 90s
Yeah.
with the stuffed animal pants and
Yeah.
like the brightest shirt possible. His
They were
hair was
purple. I
like
remember I have a
green
photo of
and he
them
was like,
purple.
"Woo, we're having a great time." And he
Got
stole
the
my
big
buddy.
turkey leg.
Yeah, yeah, and he stole my buddy Jason's beer, which like that actor's in, like we would get special beers there. And he was like, "Awesome, man." And he like grabbed his beer and chugged it, and Jason was about to kill him. It's like, I don't give a
You
shit
don't
who
know how
he
much it
is.
costs.
Yeah, he drank my oatmeal stout. And
Oh,
yeah,
no.
yeah, it was part of a special batch. And it was like,
You just don't do those things. You
yeah,
don't go to the meadery and take people's mead, because that was my
yeah.
thing.
I think one of the things people don't get about the Renaissance Fair is that, yes, we drink a lot, but it's always the good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was with the Italian nobles.
Oh, yeah.
So we had to walk around sounding like we weren't quite members of the Dracula party, but we still have an accent. So, uh,
Mhm.
and you guys
Drinking
did.
Porto.
Oh my God, the port was so good. I still love chocolate port to this day. Like that is my one
Oh,
of my
yeah.
all-time favorite drinks. When was the first time you hit a Renaissance fair then? Because if you were a skater boy in Mission Viejo, well, they had a little fair, didn't they? Like a little tiny.
Well, the fair was always in Southern California. Like that's where it started.
Yeah.
And like in high school, I remember seeing my buddy Stuart, one of my best friends. He like comes to school on a Monday and he has like a dragon claw around a crystal on and like a leather necklace thing. And I'm like,
Is that the Stuart we
because
know? Stuart? No.
no,
Oh, okay.
no.
Okay.
Because Stuart, um, wait, what was I gonna say?
I don't know.
Oh no,
ADHD, sorry.
because I had been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I was 5. I was like, "That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Where did you get it?" And he was like, "Oh, I got it at the Renaissance Fair." And I'm like, "Renaissance Fair? What's that?" And he was like, "Oh," and he explained it to me. And I was like, "That's awesome. I want to go. And oh well, it's over for this year. I'm like, what? It's over? Yeah, we went for the last weekend this past weekend. With who? Oh, all your other friends?
You
Where's
bastards!
where's
They
my
didn't even think
invite?
about you?
No, I have a feeling in early on in my high school career, I was pretty annoying. So
You have a feeling? What did you do, John?
there's a lot of signs. Let's just say I was still perfecting all of this. Uh,
The class clown hadn't quite shaped into the form.
yeah, not quite yet. Not quite yet. So, plus with ADHD, like we love to like just dump talk and just
Yeah,
blah 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 blah. And I
I
hadn't
married that.
started to regulate that. Yes.
I married a guy whose favorite thing he'll this will be short. This will be a short story. And then 4.5 hours later, you know, what were you trying to talk to me about? The tire on my car. Okay. It's flat. That was it. That was the whole story. It started at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It is now 9:30. Yeah. That is who I
Yeah. Yeah,
married.
what's really great is when we all get together and start telling stories to each other. And we do this thing that my friends referred to and now I call chaining, where
Yes.
you like start off on this story and then you chain down to this story and then to that story and then to this story. And then you have to follow the chains back up to where you were.
Uh-huh.
And like when we're all together and it's just us ADHD people, it's fine.
And it makes
We
perfect
all
sense.
get it. And this is how we like to talk. And, we can follow the chains back up, help each other get back on track. It's
Yes.
great. When the people don't have it, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And yeah,
Well, yeah, I have to, I'm
then you
that
get
way.
divorced.
No,
What?
no, again, too many times.
Mm.
I said to him one day, which conversation are we in? I think that helps.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
we in the
yeah.
one about the liquor store? Are we in the one about the?
Is this still about the tire?
Yeah, exactly. And that will happen. Like his dad's sick right now, and he's so sad. He's up in Detroit, 96 years old. Guy is
Ooh.
a coach for volleyball to this day,
Oh,
and
wow.
and he fell down. So of course, 96. The entire family is flying back and forth to Detroit to check on this guy. So he started a conversation before he flew out to see him. And last night, where he's been home for a week, that's when the conversation ended. So totally get the training.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've definitely told a story that took days.
Well, I
Literally,
do crossword puzzle talk. If
like,
some,
oh, that thing I was talking about last night.
yeah.
I mean, I should probably have gotten to the point of that, but
Oh, or what was I going to say? I was going to tell you about. Oh, it doesn't matter now. 5 hours later. Oh, and that was, yeah.
was that Craig or was that Terry? Oh, the funny thing about Terry is
Hmm. There's so many
it
funny.
wasn't Terry, but let me tell you about Terry.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I had a terry cloth robe once, and it was really soft, and my dog rubbed all over it. It became a white terry cloth robe. But
All right, right now we're chaining on ADHD.
yes,
So,
which I love. People, you're my tribe. I love this. I
mhm,
love
mhm.
this. That's part of the reason why I speak in my mother's accent. Because
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mother will stay on the same exact topic forever. Like
Mm.
she will just talk about one thing and that's it. That's all you will hear about that entire week, that entire month, that entire year. And then she'll finally go to a different topic. So, but I'm really bad at it. I
Well,
can't.
yeah, with age, I have now I have a little filter, a little stop and go,
See, I have
red light, green
medication.
light, which is like I hit the red light and it's like, is this actually an interesting story?
But you
Is
have
this or
lots of good stories. You have,
I
uh,
know
let's go
I'm
back to the first time you went to a Ren Fair. Let's go back.
oh right,
So what's is
which
Stuart who isn't
my
our Stuart?
mom my
Yeah.
mom just found a picture of my first year at the Renaissance Fair. I was 19 years old. Or actually, I was 18 when I first went because the whole oh, we went to the Renaissance Fair this weekend. Oh, let me know when you go again. I want to go with you. Oh, it's over. Happened for like 2, 3 years before my good friend Tim Cox, who I went to
Uh,
high school with, who you probably met, Giant
yeah.
Torgo.
Yes.
And he literally grabbed me by the shirt and picked me up because he's like 6'4", 6'5". We call him the Wookiee. And he went, "We're going
Yes.
to the Renaissance Fair this weekend and you're coming with us." And I
Damn
was
it.
like, "Yes, sir." And I went out to try to find a costume, but even I knew that like the costume rental places, those costumes were absolute trash.
Yeah,
And
and they smell bad. They clean them,
yeah,
but they still smell bad.
yeah. And I ended up like I remember one of the neighbor women helped me make a cloak out of this like velveteen sort of stuff. And then
You many teddy bears had to die for this?
exactly. I couldn't find like my kind of big blousey pants. So I
Uh,
ended up like wearing, I think they were just black jeans. And then I had some like taller boots and didn't realize it, but they had like the cowboy top and I was like, well, this is what I got.
yep.
Um I had like some sort of shirt that I had planned on wearing, couldn't find that. So I just took a black shirt, probably with like a graphic tee thing, and I flipped it inside out and ripped off the collar and the sleeves. And then I took my
Backseat.
mom's gardening gloves
Nice.
and because I wanted gauntlets, and that was the only gauntlets I could find. And I polished them black with shoe polish
Nice.
and
That's your
took like a
D&D
red
training right there.
exactly. And then they were also too short because my mom has small hands. So I cut off the fingertips. So fingerless
So you look
gardening
like a
gloves,
drunk.
polished black. And then I took some pieces of red fabric and wrapped one around my head like the Red Pirate Roberts,
Sure.
but red, and then also like one around my waist. And I had my sword that I had gotten on a church trip to Tijuana.
I was waiting for Disneyland, but Tijuana is
Oh
much
no.
better.
Yes. Yeah. I haggled for that thing. Um, and yeah, and we went out there and like I walked in that gate and was like, whoa, what is this? I need to be here. And the people we were with, the guy who was like leading the expedition,
Uh-huh.
um, he had been going for like 15 years or something like that.
Wow. Did he have
And
like
so
parents that were into it and stuff too, or?
I don't know if his parents were into it, but I didn't know him terribly well. He ran our local comic shop, Comic Quest,
Oh, right
in
on.
Lake Forest. It's not the guy who owns it now,
Uh-huh.
the guy who
It's
owned it
still
first.
there. That's good.
It is still there. They
Excellent.
do comics and miniatures, and then like dice, so and Magic the Gathering and stuff. So,
Cool.
lots of different things so they can barely make any money.
Ugh.
Um,
And you gotta have you gotta have
Bless them.
the RT the tabletop game parties, otherwise you don't make any money.
Yeah. And I went up to him and I was like, "This place is amazing. How do you get to work here?" And he goes, "I don't know. It's like a big mystery." And I was like, "That doesn't sound right." And I just completely left the group, just walked away, went up to the closest person who worked there that I could see,
Uh-huh.
which was one of the Germans at German camp.
Albus?
Big, huge dude
Those guys are
like this.
severe. Yeah.
As I come walking up, like looking like the rejected Dread Pirate Roberts, like Timu Dread Pirate Roberts, walk up, and he just puffs up bigger and bigger and bigger as I get closer and closer and looks down at me. Ugh. And I said,
I also look them
"Hey,
up.
how do you get to work here?" And he goes, "Oh, well, what you do is call his phone number and and you go through auditions because they had auditions back then, and then you have to find a group and then
Pass
if you make it
costume
through
check.
auditions, you're in. Yeah, and then like you'll have to get a new costume. I'm like, obviously.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And later on I would find I would befriend that man whose nickname was Stippy.
They have the best names, man.
So good, so good. Yeah, so that whole summer I ended up going to all these little fairs and then going and auditioning, and I made it in.
Well,
Um, and which I wanted to celebrate, but the people who had kind of taken me under their wing, there were a couple of like first year people there,
You
and
weren't the
I made
only
it in,
virgin?
but the other person didn't. And I
Oh.
wanted to be like, woohoo! And I couldn't because she didn't make it. But she ended up getting in anyway. It was
Oh,
fine.
there you go.
Yeah, yeah. We got a note from the guild master. It was fine.
Okay.
And yeah, so I asked them like, how much does it cost to get a costume? And she said, oh, it's like, 150, $200.
Yeah,
And I was like,
which
oh,
is $1 million.
that's not too bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
back then in like 1992 money, that
Yeah.
was I was working at Target full time as a cashier and
Oh
I was
boy.
making $125 a week. So I'd have to save up
There
over
goes
the
you.
course of a month.
Yeah,
But
there
I'm
goes
like,
your
I guess
rent.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And then they as if me saying, oh, okay, I guess I can make that work was a challenge. They said, oh, well, that's just for fabric. Then you have to pay somebody for
Putting it
to
together.
make it and all this stuff, and that's going to cost at least another like $300 or something like that. And I'm like, I don't know if they thought my parents had money because not the case.
Yeah, Orange
Um,
County does not mean money necessarily, no.
Certainly, and not at that time in particular. Like we lived on the wrong side of the freeway at in Orange County. Like my
So
parents bought
you're
that house in 1968 when everything was
right.
cheap there, and
Yeah.
eventually we got priced out of our neighborhood and had to move away like 60 miles. So my dad and I were going back and forth, but chaining.
Ah,
Uh,
I do it. I do it. I do
yeah, so
it.
I took a sewing class at my local community college where I was taking classes anyway. And
Smart.
then yeah, and then made made a lot of friends, a lot of like old ladies because it was they were the sweetest and I had to make 5 garments in the time that everyone else was going to make 2 or 3, something like that, so that I could make it
Because
through
you had
costume
purpose.
approval.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, they taught me how to thread the sewing machine, and like the teacher would be um like lecturing, and I'd be like,
I
I don't
gotta get
care.
these. My
Yeah.
cummerbund's not
Look,
ready.
yeah, all I need to know is how to sew. I don't need sewing theory. Um,
You don't have to tell me what kind of thread does what.
yeah, although she did instill in me, you got to buy the good thread
Yeah.
because you don't buy that coat stuff that's coated with cotton, and because that shreds as it goes through your machine
Yeah,
and it
it
gunks
becomes
it all
little
up.
like yeah.
And it's not as strong as like Gutermann or Metrocene, which may not even both be made anymore. Those are 100% polyester, and they will hold a garment together. You could ask anybody I've made a garment or a
This is
costume for.
education. This
Yeah,
is education.
anybody I made a costume for over the last however many years. You can do the math at home. I'm not going to do it now because it hurts. And uh, most of those things are still going. I still have the first doublet I made in 93.
Oh, that's cool because
Yeah,
you
it
did
is
it right the first
shredded,
time. Oh,
but
man.
the seams are holding.
That's
So
good. Nothing else is looking right, but
yeah,
the seams
everything
are
else is
good.
falling apart.
I just bought a bunch of uh Tudor costume patterns so I could reshape because I recently lost about 100 pounds. So
Hey,
but
me
I
too.
started it. I know I started it as this big. You met me when I was this big,
Hmm.
and then I got really sick, and I ended up getting that big. And now we're back down here. So,
Yeah, pandemic, and also living in Minnesota for 2 years before that.
but you had to get warmer. You turn into a grizzly bear.
Yeah, the other thing was that like my brain didn't realize I had moved to Minnesota. It was like, hey, vacation time. Let's eat all the cheese curds.
Because there's no calories on vacation.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about like fucking cold cheese curds.
No, you
No.
had the fried cheese
Deep
curds
fried cheese curds. It's the only way to go.
with walleye.
Oh yeah.
See,
Oh
I
yeah.
know Minnesota food.
Hmm.
in in Vegas, of all places, there was a restaurant, and the guy who owned it was from I can't even remember the name of the town in Minnesota, but they had fresh walleye flown in every week, and they had fried cheese curds and fried this and fried that, dipped in beer, and you would drink this.
Ooh.
And it was a brew house, and
Mm.
Top Dog, Red Dog, or something like that. But they had this amazing flight, and I don't know about you, but when somebody offers me a flight of the brewery, I must imbibe because this
You
is what you
say
do.
yes.
Yes, thank you. So I did many, many times.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I'm on now non-alcoholic beer these days.
I stopped drinking kind of not because I don't really I still like the taste of what I taste, but I just don't like the way I feel the next day. And first time in my life, I had my stepfather died a few years ago, and we
Mm.
toasted him many, many times at the there's a little boathouse where we lived in outside of San Francisco, and the boathouse served all this, cheers for Phil, your stepdad, and I had 7 or 8 whiskeys. I did not remember getting home. I did not remember
Yeah.
anything except the third cheer of the night. And apparently, this girl is terrified of me because I kept asking for her phone number. It's like, I didn't mean to do that, dude. I thought you were, Katie Lang. I had no idea. So,
That's yeah, that's one of the things that I was like, yeah, like during the pandemic I had nothing else to do and I was sad all the time and stressed out all the time and so I was just drinking and drinking. Then the pandemic, like things opened up again and I couldn't stop, so I just completely quit.
now, were you living by yourself during the pandemic?
No. I
Uh,
had I had just moved back from Minnesota and was like trying to like get back onto my feet in LA.
yeah.
And I'm moved into the building I'm actually in right now, but on the third floor. And there were 3 other people in this one loft. And it was like somebody had just gotten this giant loft and built different rooms in it.
Oh,
So
cool.
no windows.
Oh, wow.
There's one window in the whole place in the kitchen, and it's like way up here, you know.
So you were in the
So
prison loft. Nice.
pretty much. And
Oh.
then yeah, and then one of my roommates nested on the couch and like went from like this kind of clean cut, well groomed guy into like full Doc Brown. And yeah,
That's
and
what
he would
happened to
just,
me.
yeah,
I just was like, I was living in my friend's in-law apartment in her house, and it's like, well, you can't go upstairs because somebody's sick. You can't, you can't go anywhere because you can't go anywhere. So I just ended up becoming one with the television.
yeah, yeah. I fortunately had a TV in my room and I could connect my headphones to it so I didn't have to worry about anybody else.
Yeah, you could
Um,
watch whatever porn you wanted to.
exactly, exactly. And
Our
you know,
love.
I'm fancy because I can get my porn to the TV.
That's right. I can streamcast it.
HDMI cable.
The kitty cat's gonna walk up and show his butt anytime now. Hi,
Oh,
buddy, come on over. So speaking of ADHD, okay. Hi, good boy. This is really cool. So you're sewing, you meet people, you're doing the fair. What made you you kind of were like, this is Oliver, by the way. Hi.
hi, Oliver.
He was supposed to make a guest spot yesterday when we were talking to a musician who really wanted to meet you, Oliver.
And
And she
that's why
ballooned.
the cat didn't show up.
That's exactly why.
Wanted it too much.
Yep.
Thirsty.
I have to be unpredictable. So ADHD. Um so what's the next thing you do? Are you like working Renaissance Fairs full time? Because you had a performance troupe, didn't you?
Yeah, we did I was the head of the constables out there. We were like the Keystone Cops,
Yeah.
very much a comedy group, and that is definitely where I kind of like got really like honed those comedy
You're
sensibilities.
very Buster Keaton.
Oh, why, thank you.
Very, very. If
I love that.
anybody, I remember watching people take pictures of you guys. It's just like, yeah, our suck ass theater.
Yes. Suck-ass theater was great.
Yes, do explain suck ass theater to the
Suck-ass
crowd.
theater. Um, Suck-ass theater started when during workshops, me and a couple of my other constable buddies were walking through Fairsight, and somebody is up on the main stage and they're rehearsing some show, and and one of the people up there goes, "This is quality theater," and one of my friends goes, "No, this is suck-ass theater," and I stopped in my tracks. And I was like, oh my God, what if we did suck ass theater and it would be theater, but without any conflict? So if it was, you must pay the rent, you must pay the rent. And then she goes, okay, here's your rent, and pays her rent. Thank you.
End
And
of
that was,
story. Thank you. Yes,
yeah,
someone
end of
always
story.
thank
Yeah.
you at the end. That was the best.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we would come running up, and, we were all big Blackadder fans. And so one of the guys' full names in Blackadder the Fourth, which is the World War One,
Yeah.
Anthony Cecil Hogmanay Milchip presents Suck Ass Theater.
Yeah.
And we did Jesus versus the Bear. We
Oh,
did
that
weren't for this cross, I'd kick thine arse. Yeah.
I can see my notes from you. Oh, and my favorite, of course, was the birth of Giulio de Medici.
Yes, where a couple of us put our hands,
Yes,
did one of
you
these
created the
things, and
big
then he stuck
vagina.
his head out and goes, Buongiorno. One of our
To
friends who
this
plays
day,
the
I'll think about that and just bust out laughing. And Freddie, my husband, will just go, "Suck ass theater." Yes, yes.
Yeah, because we had like kind of done a little bit here and a little bit there, and people were like, "Oh, that's funny." And then we were over at the Green Man, which is the inn that you and I would sit at and crack each other up.
Yes.
And I had some other friends who were visiting, who were the friends who like my first year of fair, like I rode with them the whole time. And those were friends of mine from high school. They were
Uh-huh.
there, and we were like, oh, I was like, check this out. Be impressed and entertained by me and my cohorts. And we came up and we did a couple of suck ass theaters for them, and everybody in the Green Man kind of goes, looks at us, and they're like, do Oedipus. All right. And like we go in
Throwing
the
him at
back
you.
and have this little huddle, and people were like, that's the best part, is you guys huddling. And I would be like, okay, how do we do Oedipus in 3 lines? Because
Yeah.
every suck ass theater had only 3 lines.
And it was
and
always less than
and
30 seconds
no
long.
more
Yeah.
or no less.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, which we ran into a problem with in Jesus versus the Bear, because the bear has to speak. His line is "rawr."
Rawr.
But yeah, and so it was like, all right, here's what we're gonna do: is you're gonna say, "Hi, Dad," and stab me. And then you're gonna go, "Hi, Mom," and then you bend over and he fucks you. And go. And we run up, Anthony Cecil Hogmanay Melter presents Suck Ass Theater. Oedipus. Hi, Dad, stab. And then we had red sashes that we were constables on, go, ah! And that was our blood. Fall over, and he goes, hi, Mom. And then Mr. Beeler, who was like, did not want to play Mother Oedipus. She's like,
The look.
ah! Actually, I think I was Oedipus. But yeah, and so we would do that, and we sat there for at least a good half hour, just doing these one
So good.
after the other, and cracking people up. We gathered a huge crowd, and the next day, the woman who ran the inn
Yeah.
comes up to me, Mother Bumby. She says,
Yeah.
I heard about what happened yesterday. She wasn't there. She's like, that's very funny. Never do it again.
Yeah.
Which,
No,
like, that could be the name of my autobiography. Very funny. Never do it again. That with Suck Ass Theater, the poo fight, where we like wait in the privies,
Yes.
with handfuls of brownies that have been all squished up, until we hear a bunch of people in the privies from when the joust gets out.
Oh,
And
sure.
then,
There's lots of people walking by. Yeah.
yeah, and then you just open up one of the doors and yell, "Poo fight!" And then everyone busts out and you start throwing the brownies at each other. And then you have one guy come out eating one of the brownies.
See, now I missed that part because I was on the other side over in Mother Bumby's area. But we had things like where does the day go? When we had a big kind of a tent or parachute over our area. And
Yeah.
we trapped another group of people by cutting the parachute down when somebody screamed, "Where does the day go?" Because we were all Italian, see, it was a bad little reference. It was so funny.
I think I have said that myself,
Yeah,
but it was the 90s. It was a different time.
yeah, yeah. We were crazy then. We were kids.
Yeah.
We were kids. We were in love. It could have happened. It was so
So
crazy.
I did that for like 10 years or
Oh
something. Was it
man.
92 to 2002? Yeah.
Oh
And
man.
then I guess like I got married in 2000. I think we took the next year off, or like there was a there was burnout that happened
Yeah.
because of management of our group.
Yeah, that's the hard
I
part.
was simply a sergeant. It was the officers who
I
made
got
things.
really tired of the drama. I'm kind of an
Yeah,
anti-drama person.
same.
Yeah, it really wore me down. And one of my best friends, Amethyst, was like, the more drama, the better. She was jumping up and down for it.
Oh,
Like, I want this conflict. I want that conflict. Meanwhile, I'm going, I don't want,
just
I want to watch the news or something if I
yeah,
want to
I
watch
would be
conflict.
like, huh.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
walk the fuck away from that shit. Um,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
yeah, and then like yeah, it was just like we would have to work so much leading up to fair for like a month and a
So
half
much work. People don't
building.
realize what
Yeah, and
workshops are like.
then yeah, and then like have to tear down. And during building and during tear down, we like the leaders of our group just constantly berated us
Yeah,
and all this stuff. And then during fair, they'd be like, "Oh my God, the best people ever." Because we were some of the only actors in this group.
yeah.
And then like scared us into staying with the group when we were going to strike out on our own, make our own guild. And oh, but you have no idea what we protect you from. I've run a guild since then. Horse shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was dating the guy that was running our guild. I remember there wasn't as much as people would assume. And the only drama that ever existed was internal.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
somebody
So
barking at somebody else.
I came back and we did like the final like hurrah of the constables, and it was one of our best years ever. Every day we gave something to the queen, like one day, and we were like just trying to see how far we could push it. One day we were like, we all pitched in and made you an heir to the throne, and we had one of our friends babies that he held up by his foot, and the baby loved it and would like giggle and be like ha whenever he did it. And she's like, oh, and she had no idea. And then was like, oh, this is fun. And then there was the day of the Spanish cantaloupe bomb. God, that's a long story.
Oh, do tell, do
Anyway,
tell. We got time.
all right, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Spanish cantaloupe bomb, right? So Queen Elizabeth comes to visit our little Elizabethan village, and um, we're supposed to give her some sort of gift. Now, it was supposed to like go from house to house to house, but we just ended up taking it over. So,
Yeah.
like, there would be because we had like 6 or 7 different households in our group, but we would just show up every week, and one day we were gifting her beautiful rugs, and we unrolled the rugs and there was somebody in them, and like
I
a bad guy that we had rolled up
remember
in a rug.
seeing one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then but the Spanish cantaloupe bomb, like that is the pinnacle of my constable career, I think, where we were uh because we would actually give her stuff too, and
Yeah.
her dressing room was right behind our hooch, so like we were friends
Yeah.
and became much better friends during the year. And she uh 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 so one week one of the members of the whorehouse, that's its technical name, people,
Yeah.
um
It's like
she
horse without the S.
yeah she I've never tasted such delicious food in my life. Like everything that she touched was gold. And so
Um,
she made 4 giant sheet cakes and decorated them, made them beautiful. And she was like, these are for this week. And so we immediately start planning. What are we going to do with these sheet cakes? And like, oh, we should give them to her. And then we'll have Graves, who was our local idiot, like just like we've got them up like this, and
Uh-huh.
he would just be like behind them, just shoveling cake into his mouth with his hand. And when we figured that she would ask about that, and when she did, be like, Graves, you idiot. Um, those cakes are for her. And Graves just goes, but it's good cake. And and I'm like, well, you're ruining everything. At least tell me you brought the candle. And then he was gonna pull out like a Looney Tune style, like round bomb with the fuse on top.
Yeah.
And we got some like slow burning cannon fuse and all this stuff. And he built props. And so he was trying to make these props during the week, but he had a bunch of other work as well to do. And so these paper mache bomb props like just collapsed.
Oh no.
And we were like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I saw that we had all this fruit. And I was like, let's let's take a cantaloupe, drill a hole in it, put the fuse in it, and it's a Spanish cantaloupe bomb. So we're out there, we're doing this, and now my friend Jose, who's one of the people who would walk along, and he's like administrative, and
Is he the he had the blue costume, right? The total blue royal fancy schmancy costume. Or is he
maybe,
the okay.
and but he had a walkie-talkie. He's one of those guys,
Yes.
and so he'd seen all of our
Oh, the other Jose.
Dungeoneering
Okay, I know which Jose you're
and
talking
was
about.
just
Okay, good.
like not affected. He's super funny guy. It takes a lot to really get to him.
Yeah, nothing rattled
And
him.
he's like, I've seen it all, but when I heard the words, it's a Spanish cantaloupe bomb, I went, what? So so we go through the whole thing. He's eating the cake, and the queen's up there going, oh my God. And she's standing on the stage that we had built, and we built a little trap door in it that I had nicknamed the pit of slight discomfort. And so we had one of our guys down in there, and he had an air cannon. So we're completely surrounded by people. Everybody's there to see the queen. We're like, like, Graves, you idiot. At least tell me you brought the candle. Oh, here it is. Graves, you idiot. That's not a candle. That's a Spanish cantaloupe bomb. And he, like, get rid of it. And he turns around, and there's people all around him. And he looks up, and he sees the stage, and he bowls it underneath the stage. At which point, the queen, who's hip to our jive, reaches over, just puts her hand out very nicely, and the guy who's next to her grabs it, and she bolts off the stage, almost yanking his arm out of the socket. And and then the rest of the people who are on that stage are like, oh God, we better move. And they all
Something's
at the
gonna
end of the
happen.
stage, and we're standing there. Now, air cannons have a tendency sometimes just to not work.
Yeah.
And we filled it with like paper and talcum powder and all this stuff. And we're like, we're all standing there going, come on, come on, come on, work, work. And Graves turns around and goes, it's a dud. At which point, boom, it blows. The cannon blows, and talcum powder does not work like smoke.
No.
It
Comes out
hangs
like
in the
cake batter,
air.
doesn't it?
And the thing we hadn't thought about was right across from the pit of slight discomfort was the press tent. So, boom, all this paper and this huge cloud go up and rolls across and into the press tent. And everyone's like, oh, geez. They're having to get out of there. And that's the end of our sketch, but it's not the end of the story.
No.
So I turn over, and I look at the queen, Galen.
I was gonna say it was a Galen, yeah.
Yes, yeah, the party queen. She
Yes.
was amazing.
She
And
was
she's like, and she turns and she looks at one of the cakes, and she walks up and she's reaching toward it. And I'm going, and she has really expensive, very nice silk gloves on.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm like, she's not going to take a bite. That'll ruin those gloves. And she grabs the bottom of it. Now, the guy who's holding the cake saw this coming and was like, do it. And just kind of leaned forward, and she goes, sploosh, and just splatted it in his face. At which point she fucking loses it. She just bends over laughing, her face in her flowers, and she just puts out her hand for somebody to take. And they grab it. take her up on stage, and I don't remember what she said,
Oh,
but
having her crack up was like the joy of people during well, my favorite line was always, yeah, how could you call it progress when you walk in a circle all day long?
yeah,
And having her crack up with, I mean, that was like the competition, like which group was going to make her laugh the hardest.
yeah, we did a good job that year. Um,
Oh,
and then the year after that, the group kind of just was done.
devolved.
Um, I think Graves moved back to Chicago, and I joined the world famous Poxy Boggards, and we're a singing group. We sing dirty
Yes, and
songs.
that's what we're going to talk about next. I was
Yeah,
in Vegas by then. Yeah.
yeah. You had gone off
Yes, Pax and
into the
I moved
wild
to
blue beyond.
Vegas, and then I sent Pax back to California. So that is sad, but it worked out
Yeah.
for Nina the dog. Um, so you, my friend,
Hmm.
have an amazing musical background too.
I do. As you can see, I have a
Yes,
guitar.
and it's in your background. See how I did
That's
that?
right.
I did that.
I also have like a mandolin, an acoustic bass, regular bass, three more guitars over there, two accordions in there. Um,
I got
yeah,
the
I've
drum
been
kit.
woo, yeah. I've been making demos for the band.
Nice, 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 nice. And you have your recording stuff right in front of you.
My accordion stuff or my recording stuff?
Recording. Oh yeah, do you
This
have an accordion too?
I have two accordions.
That's
Yeah, I've got all my recording stuff. Like,
right. I knew you had an accordion. I'd
blah, blah,
forgotten.
blah. You can't hear that because
So
it's not
what
plugged
made you
in.
do I blah blah. What had made you do music? When did you start doing music?
I started doing music very young.
Was that one
You
of
know,
those many things that your dad went, oh, here we go?
my dad was pretty he was pretty good about it. My dad like played a little piano and liked to sing Minnie the Mermaid as my like sister sat on his lap, and he would play us little songs and sing and stuff. And yeah, I think like I joined maybe the choir at church or something. And then,
And you
you know,
didn't
I
break into flames?
I didn't have the experience needed to burst into flames yet. Today, guaranteed.
Would you?
Um, And yeah, and then I joined like the orchestra when I was in grade school, and
Aw.
I played the viola. I wanted to play the
I played
violin.
viola.
Oh, no kidding.
I did. I loved
I
it. I
had
couldn't
no
stand
idea.
violin because it was too high pitched because my ears would go blah blah. But
Oh yeah.
viola was.
I wanted to play violin, but it was like the most popular instrument, and so they didn't have any to rent. You would have to actually like, or to lend. You would have
Yes.
to actually go to a music store and rent one on your own. And my parents were like, "Yeah, we can't afford that. Why
Yeah,
don't you
five
play
bucks a week
literally
that for
anything
us.
else?
Yeah.
Viola is like a violin, but just a little
Yes.
bigger."
Yeah.
And I never practiced, which I now realize like the time that I practice, there it is dark outside.
Yeah.
Which, when you're a kid with a younger sister, my dad would burst into the room and be like, "Stop that noise! You're gonna wake up your sister." Um,
Oh, not good.
but I had been like bugging my parents to let me buy it, like to buy me a guitar since I don't even know how long. Like I
Ever
was
since the
very
monkeys
young.
existed for me, it was like the monkeys had guitar and the Partridge Family. How come they can play guitar and I don't have one?
Yeah, exactly. Musical youth. I'm like, those kids are so young. I should be in that group. Um, and yeah, I was in choirs. I was in musicals. I finally, I found a picture of my grandparents giving me like a toy guitar when I was really young.
Aw.
And then and my parents took me to the music store. I was dead set on playing the guitar.
Uh-huh.
And they took me to the music store, and and the guy's like, "Well, little buddy, your hands are just too small." I'm like, "I don't care.
Have you heard of
I
Paul
want to play the
Williams?
guitar. Why don't
Yes.
you try the trumpet?" He's like, "You just gotta blow in it." I'm like, "No,
With your
this is
embouchure.
stupid.
Your embouchure.
Yeah, I wanna play the guitar." Well, maybe. And it was Yeah,
Husband
until
2.0 was a
eventually
trumpet player.
what's that?
Husband 2.0 was a trumpet player.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
excellent. He was
Trumpet's
excellent.
nice, but
It's
like,
a sexy instrument, but
yeah, it's not
just
what I
watching
wanted to
somebody
play.
clean it afterwards, bleh. So
Yeah, yeah, we have two tromboners in our band, and so every now and then they like hit that spit thing, and it like oh.
yeah, so I don't need to see those things. It's
If I have
COVID
to
in
do
a
that to
box.
my guitar, something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I think when I was 8, they finally got me like a proper guitar and guitar
Oh,
lessons, and I got all these sheets with chords on it, and I would want to play at like 8 o'clock at night,
sure.
and stop it,
It's
you're gonna
just, it's
wake up your
just,
sister. And so I never really practiced. I remember the guy being like, who was giving me lessons, being like, "Did you practice your chords?" And me being like, "Yeah." Do you have a favorite chord? That one?
E. Yeah.
C
E.
sharp minor, I guess. I don't know. What? Oh, okay, play it for me. Yeah. And then
Everything
I
was E
just,
with me. I
yeah,
would always just play D chords up and down. So
I ended up like spending a lot of time just sitting in my room because remember, I was annoying and I would just like play chords and try to play along with songs, and I would buy sheet music that had the chords in them
Mhm.
for things, and then I would sit there and I'd be like, oh, going from a C to a G is really difficult. You really have to like move your hand a lot, and so I would just ding a jing just slow it down and keep going back and forth and back and forth
I
and
would do
working
that with
working
Bob
working.
Dylan books. That's how I learned how to play, and I didn't know what the songs were supposed to sound like. So like I would learn how to play guitar with like it says adagio, okay. It's a tremolo,
Ah,
okay.
yes,
Like
adagio.
arpeggiate the chord. I'm like, yeah. Yes, like, more BB King, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I was in a band in high school, a really, really bad punk band.
Is there a
Um,
really good punk band in high school? I mean, really, come on.
Not that I've seen.
Weird
There are very
Harold, I think, was
few
the only
good
band I
punk
ever
bands
saw.
that aren't in high school as well. Uh, and
That,
then, yeah, and then I was in an alternative band in the 90s.
as
And
you
then,
do.
yeah, and then we split up around 95, and I was like, I just feel rudderless. I didn't know what to do. And I'd been doing the Renaissance Fair, and I was in the middle class guild, and they had like a madrigal group.
Hmm.
Now, I had been
Oh,
in choir, and I had been in like chamber choir. I was a singer. I did not tell anybody in that group that I could sing
oh
because
no.
they would have tried to wrangle me into that group singing these boring songs that
Yeah,
I did
that
not want to sing. Not to mention, I would have to like stand there. And like that was the last thing that either I or my ADHD wanted to do. Like we would get down there and we would want to run out and like interact and play and do like little improv things with
I never
everybody.
told anybody I could read music either for the same
Yeah.
reason. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I
And
can, but
then,
oh, I don't know what
yeah.
that is.
So when like the constables kind of fizzled out, I was still in the group and just kind of being like, I think I'm done with this, but like, what am I gonna do? And like, I think it would be fun to do like, a singing group at the Renaissance Fair. But if I was gonna do that, they would have to be really, really dirty. And like, and I had started collecting some like body-ish songs and trying to rewrite them into like even worse. And
Roll me over in
uh
the clover, do it again.
yeah, yeah, except like about anal. Um
Carfunkel and oats. There you go.
yeah, exactly. And so my buddy Casey, who I had done fair with my first year,
Uh-huh.
and he had been a part of like some of the acting troops out there on stage, and he and I started hanging out a lot that year, and he was in the Poxy Boggards. And so I
Hmm.
would go over there and I would hang out and I'm watching them and
Was
they're,
Tim still in it
getting
then?
who?
Tim, long white hair guy, Tim.
Grapham. No, not
Okay.
Grapham. Cadell.
Yes.
Because there's Grapham and then there was Gaffer.
Yes. Gaffer Tim
And
is
so I
right.
get those names mixed up. Tim
Yeah.
Cadell. He was still in it.
Cool.
He absolutely delights me. I love that man.
Yeah, he's a
Uh,
sweetheart.
yeah, and I remember just sitting there being like, yeah, if I was gonna be in a bandit fair, it'd be like this one. But they're already doing it, so what's the point? And like that winter, Casey called me up and he's like, "What are you doing on Tuesday or Thursday?" I was like, "I'm going to a Weight Watchers meeting. You're not going to get me to do anything else." And then he was
Not
like,
the answer he expected, I bet.
"Yeah," and he was like, "Yeah, you're going to skip this week." So I was like, "What the hell? I am. Why?" And he goes, "You're going to come and try out for the Poxy Boggards." Yeah, because they needed a new like guy who stands in front and interacts with Stork, who's been like their front man
Yep,
since
forever.
almost the beginning, and tells jokes, but also big voiced baritone who can sing
Brings the
melody.
crowd in. Yep.
Yep. And I went and I was like, "Oh, okay, fuck Weight Watchers." Uh, yeah, so I waddled over there and gave it my best shot, and they called me on my way home and were like, "You're in." And
Aw,
yeah, and so I started doing that, and I started writing songs with them, and
excellent.
yeah, and then I did that until about 2013. We took that band out of the Renaissance Fair. We went and we did like House of Blues. We did all these things because we would draw like
Well, people
seven,
love
eight
that
hundred people.
music. People really
Mhm.
love that music.
And Ren Fair people, like especially at the time, there were so many people who really enjoyed the band. But when you're working the Renaissance Fair, you don't get to watch the shows at the Renaissance Fair.
Fact.
So they would all want to come. And then, like, if it's St. Patrick's Day, we haven't done fair and haven't been around each other since, you know, like June.
Right.
So everybody kind of wants to get together again. And so we would have like 700, 800 people. The venues would be like, "You guys are our favorite to have because you like you
Bring a crowd.
you sell us out
Yep.
and then they drink us dry on beer
Yeah, our cheapest
and
alcohol. Bring them in.
and everyone gets along. Nobody ever gets into fights. And it's like all these people are friends or something.
Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Um, yeah, and then around what was it? 2013, I guess. Is that right?
Y- That's when I was chasing Pearl Jam around for a year. Yeah.
Um, yeah, 2013, because it was 2002 to 2013. My filmmaking career was just, I'm not sure I can say taking off. Well, it kind of
It's
was. Yeah,
walking
'cause
towards the door.
I was running shows on like different YouTube channels and not like, this sort of thing. We were doing action adventure,
Yeah, like
short
more like
films
a
every two
Viva
weeks.
Plus type of stuff, like those New Zealand
Yeah, it
guys do.
was,
Yeah.
and it was great. And then I was doing that, and then I had to take work so that, because not all of that paid very well. And so, my schedule was just so crazy all the time and unpredictable
Hmm.
that I just didn't have time to rehearse. And it was like showing up in the music. So I ended up stepping away from the band, which was like, oh man, that hurt so much.
Because
Um,
it becomes your whole other body. It just
Yeah,
becomes who
because
you are.
like there were 13 guys in that band, and then the Merry Wives of Windsor, who
Yeah.
had like 13 women, and we were like one family. And then there were the Bells of Bedlam and Sportive Tricks, and oh God, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. But like there was this huge extended family of, like
Yeah.
100 people. And we would get together at parties, and people would raise each other's kids and stuff like that. And so it was like just stepping away from a family, and it was really, really rough. And I never quite got that same thing with like my YouTube
Yeah,
filmmaker
it's a whole different
buddies.
animal. Yeah.
Yeah. And plus, like the things you can talk about with your Ren Fair friends.
It's a tribe.
Yeah,
It's
you
your tribe.
cannot bring
Yeah.
up a lot of that stuff with other people.
And they wouldn't understand if you did anyway.
They wouldn't, they'd be like, "What is wrong with you?" Whereas we're like, "Oh, yeah."
And the ages of people in Ren Fair, like Bonnie Bendy
Bonnie
um
Morgan.
Bonnie Morgan, yeah, and Molly. I mean, they've been in it since before they were born,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're in their 40s now.
Hmm.
That's basically what happens. They get born into this world and they live this world and they have tightrope walking setups in their backyard at their house and they
Yeah,
come up
man, that whole family is, you know, circus folk.
astonishing.
It's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's what the whole fair is like to me. It's like when I left that world, it really felt like somebody cut off my arm. But
yeah,
there was no way for me to get back into it because I was so sick at the time. It just was, and, we don't talk about that right now. But yeah, I mean, it was just brutal.
yeah. So
And on that happy
so
note.
yeah, and then I was it last year went out to fair and was just visiting and like went over and said hi to the guys and was like, "Hey, yeah, man, I've been out here 10 minutes and like three people have asked me to join their groups." And Stu, who's the leader of the Boggards, goes, "If you want to come back, I can make it happen." I was like, "What?" I hadn't even considered that. And after like coming back and visiting a couple times, and I was like, my schedule has very much calmed down.
Yeah.
And I was really afraid that I was gonna like book something during fair that I'd have to leave. And I was like, you know what? If that happens, that happens. I'm gonna do it because this really fills this part of my heart. And I have started writing a lot more music. And now, like, since then, I've like gotten into screenwriting and TV writing and sketch writing and all of this stuff. And now I know how to like really craft a joke. And so I'm writing these new songs and my musicianship has gotten way better. I don't know why, because I haven't done music in 10 years.
Because you're taking it more seriously now. You know what it means to you.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm not like the young guy in the band trying to prove himself. Now I'm one of the old guys,
Yeah, and the,
which is
the fucks
kind of
you
great.
give are like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Uh and it's
It's
been a
so
lot of
cool.
fun. It's been a lot of
And
fun.
I'm so, and for those who want to get into the Poxy Boggards, we'll list the recordings down below too. Are you guys on Bandcamp too, or
We are on Spotify.
the big
Yeah.
S?
Poxyboggards.
Correct. You win.
Yes. Yes.
You know how to spell the name of
Got
your
a
band. What's that like? I was in a band called the Horseless Headmen, and you wouldn't believe the way people would spell that on the posters. I was like, "You're what? The Horseless Headmen, horseless, like the headless horseman, except we're horseless and we're headmen and we're all women." That's another
makes
story.
perfect sense to me.
I think so. That was a great band too. Another punk band. Um, Jon Enge, this has been an hour of your life. Don't hang up. I have to show you something. This is what
Okay.
we're giving all our guests, by the way. We finally
Ooh.
got some in. That here it is.
Yay!
Auntie's favorite. Wait, can you see it? Wait.
On the
Auntie's
other
favorite.
side.
Auntie's favorite guest.
Other boob. Other
Oh,
boob.
other boob.
Other boob.
Oh, there we go.
There it
Auntie's
is.
favorite guest. And then, on the back.
Oh yeah.
Yay! Plus an in-action figure, which will be a model of you yourself.
It's
And we
about
could do it
time.
dressed in your Ren Fair costume or however you would like it.
Oh, I do have an STL, a scan, as me
Oh,
in my
easier
Ren
then.
Fair
That
costume.
just made my life easy. Just toss it to me. We'll print it up for you.
Yeah, I used to work with Corridor Digital, and we had to do these things where they needed to take scans of all of us, and then like they were like, "Hey, let's make miniatures of all of us." And so I
Uh-huh.
brought over my Ren Fair costume, put it on, and they scanned me, and so now I can
You can
make a
play with
miniature version of
yourself.
me anytime. Hmm.
I love it. I love it. All right, people. Don't hang up, John. This
I
has
won't.
been the Antisocial Hour-ish show. Today's guest has been Jon Enge. Next week's guest, I believe, is Steve North, who is one of the biggest bookers in comedy on the entire country. And we will see you next time. Be good or be good at it.